The Old West, or what we came to call the Wild West, was a 30-year period from 1865 to 1895. After Thomas Jefferson's procurement of the Louisiana Purchase, westward expansion in the United States became an aspiring dream of freedom and prosperity to the people of the American frontier. The Civil War, which began in 1861, had just ended in 1865, and this brought a new perspective to American living. The Wild West was famous for cowboys, lawmen, gunslingers, prospectors, and gamblers, all looking to earn their wealth in this new frontier. To this day, we still recognize some of the famous and infamous individuals of the Wild West, such as Jesse James, Wild Bill Hickok, Buffalo Bill Cody, Calamity Jane, and many more. Times were extremely hard in the American frontier. Poverty, disease, and greed run rampant on the streets of the Wild West. But the people still had hope to find their American dream. But this dream cost money, so the people of this new frontier did everything they could to build their wealth, whether it be law-abiding or illegal.
$2,000. It's a lot of money.
So in today's video, let's take a close look at all of the coins used in the Wild West, ranging from 1865 through 1895. These coins would be used in everyday transactions throughout the American frontier, like buying a shot of whiskey or fulfilling that bounty on a wanted criminal. As coin collectors, we can really appreciate the beauty and history of these amazing coins. All right, let's take a look.
That's $500. You get it right. $500. Must be a piece of the hand.
The Indian head cent, which was the smallest denomination of coins in the Wild West, was minted from 1859 through 1909. And this coin depicts a representation of Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress. These coins were originally minted in a copper-nickel composition, but during the Civil War, nearly all copper-nickel coins disappeared from circulation. In some cities, cent-sized tokens began to be issued by merchants to fill the void left by these missing cents. But the government stepped in with the Act of April 22, 1864, and issued the Indian head cent in bronze, making these merchants' tokens illegal. These bronze Indian head cents would have been used every day in the Wild West. The Act of April 22, 1864, which changed the weight and composition of the 1-cent coin, included a provision for a bronze 2-cent coin, and this would become one of the shortest-lived issues of United States coinage. The 2-cent coin was minted from 1864 through 1873, the 1872 being the key date of the series, with a mintage of only 65,000. The silver 3-cent coin was minted from 1851 through 1873, and this is one of the smallest of United States silver coins, also known as the trime. The key dates in this series being the 1865 with a mintage of 8,000 and the 1867 with a mintage of only 4,000 coins. Nearly the entire production of coins minted from 1863 to 1872 were melted down in 1873. Due to the silver 3-cent coin being hoarded by the public, they then issued a nickel composition 3-cent coin. 75% copper and 25% nickel, this 3-cent coin was issued from 1865 through 1889. All of these coins were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and the key date of this series being the 1885 with a mintage of only 1,000 produced. Being made possible by the Act of May 16, 1866, we now have a 5-cent coin in circulation known as the Shield Nickel. This coin was minted from 1866 through 1883. All minted in Philadelphia, the key date of this series being the 1880 with a mintage of only 16,000. In early 1883, the nickel design was changed to the Liberty head. This type first appeared without the word cents on the coin, merely just a large letter V. Some of these coins without the word cents were then gold-plated and actually passed for $5 gold coins. Later in that year, the word cents was added to discourage any fraudulent practice. The Liberty head, also known as the V-nickel, was minted from 1883 through 1913. All coins were minted in Philadelphia up until 1912, where they then minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The 1912 S being the key date of the series with a mintage of only 238,000. Coins made of silver and gold were much more popular than any coin made of copper, nickel, or bronze. So we also had a 5-cent coin known as the Seated Liberty half dime. These were minted from 1837 through 1873. These coins were minted in Philadelphia and New Orleans up until 1863, where they also began minting them in San Francisco. The key date of this series being the 1867 minted in Philadelphia with a mintage of only 8,000 coins. Minted from 1837 through 1891, the Seated Liberty 1 dime coin would have definitely seen circulation in the Wild West. This design, made of 90% silver and 10% copper, actually saw 5 different alterations to the design throughout the years. The 10-cent or 1 dime silver coin would then see a change in 1892. Chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, Charles E. Barber, would design the Liberty head dime. Made of 90% silver and 10% copper, this coin was minted from 1892 through 1916 in Denver, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and New Orleans. This coin would later be known as the Barber dime, with the key date of the series being the 1895 minted in New Orleans, with a mintage of only 440,000. Also circulating throughout the Wild West was a silver 25-cent coin. This design here is known as the Seated Liberty Quarter, minted from 1838 through 1891 and designed by Christian Gobrecht. Like the 10-cent coin of the same design, this would see a variety of changes and alterations to the design throughout the years. In 1892, the silver 25-cent coin would then see a change as well. Minted from 1892 through 1916, the 25-cent coin was then changed to the Liberty head design by Charles E. Barber, later known as the Barber Quarter. The key date of the series being the 1901, minted in San Francisco with a mintage of 72,664. Another denomination you'd see circulating throughout the Wild West is the half dollar. This 50-cent coin with the Seated Liberty design was minted from 1839 through 1891, and like other coins of the same design, saw 5 different varieties throughout the years. And like with the 10-cent and 25-cent coins, in 1892 we saw a change to the half dollar as well. Minted from 1892 through 1915, we have the Charles E. Barber design of the Liberty head half dollar, comprised of 90% silver and 10% copper. With the 1914 minted in Philadelphia having the lowest mintage of 124,230. After the suspension of silver dollar coinage was lifted in 1831, the Seated Liberty silver dollar began minting for general circulation in 1840 and was minted through 1873. By the early 1850s, the silver content of these pieces were worth more than their face value. And later, issues were not seen in circulation but were used mainly in export trade. This situation continued through 1873. And this brings us to the trade dollar, minted from 1873 through 1885. This coin was issued for circulation in Asia to compete with dollar-sized coins of other countries. They were legal tender in the United States, but when silver prices declined, Congress repealed the provision and authorized the Treasury to limit coinage to export demand. Many pieces that circulated in the Orient were counterstamped with Oriental characters known as chop marks. In 1887, the Treasury redeemed trade dollars that were not mutilated by these chop marks. The law authorizing trade dollars was repealed in February of 1887. And this brings us to one of the most recognized and famous silver dollars that we've probably all seen in every Wild West movie. This is the Morgan dollar, minted from 1878 through 1921. The coinage law of 1873 made no provision for the standard silver dollar. During the lapse in coinage of this denomination, the gold dollar became the unit coin, and the trade dollar was used for commercial transactions in Asia. Resumption of coinage of the silver dollar was authorized by the Act of February 28, 1878, also known as the Bland-Allison Act. This coin was designed by George T. Morgan, who was formerly a pupil of William Wyon of the Royal Mint in London. The Morgan dollar was minted in Philadelphia, San Francisco, Denver, New Orleans, and Carson City. All comprised of 90% silver and 10% copper. This is one of the most recognizable silver coins that we see in every Wild West movie. Throughout the United States during this time period, we also had gold coins circulating. This $1 gold coin, known as the Indian Princess Head, it had two varieties, a small head and large head version, was minted from 1854 through 1889. And these $1 gold coins would be the dollar coin of choice before the Morgan silver dollar, which was introduced in 1878. The next denomination of gold coins was the Liberty Head $2.50 gold piece, also known as the Quarter Eagle. They were minted from 1840 through 1907, and they weighed 4.18 grams of 90% gold and 10% copper. Next, we have the Liberty Head $5 gold piece, also known as the Half Eagle. These were minted from 1839 through 1908 with a weight of 8.359 grams of 90% gold and 10% copper. Our next denomination would be the $10 Gold Eagle coin. They were minted from 1838 through 1907 and had a weight of 16.718 grams, also in a composition of 90% gold and 10% copper. And this brings us to the last coin of today's video and the largest denomination of U.S. coinage during the period of the Wild West and American frontier. Here we have the $20 denomination, also known as the Double Gold Eagle. They were minted from 1849 through 1907, and they have a weight of 33.436 grams, also in a composition of 90% gold and 10% copper. So that brings us to the conclusion of today's video. We went over all of the United States coinage that was in circulation during the time period of the Old West, what we now know as the Wild West of the American frontier. Times were troubling and times were tough, but the people kept their hopes up with their westward expansion into the new territories to build themselves a new life and find the American dream. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw, and subscribe to the channels if you enjoy videos all about history and coin collecting and precious metals and much more. And please ring the notification bell so you can see when I upload my next video. And as always, have a great day.